You're listening to Making Money Online with Lisa Johnson, the podcast that tells you what it really takes to build a business and the simple steps to get you there. I'm determined to share with you the reality of easy, simple business marketing tips to make passive income so that you can start making money online. Hello, and welcome to today's episode where I'm going to be talking to you about how to work out your passive income idea. We've been talking a lot on the podcast so far about passive income, about how I got into passive income, about what it is and different types. And one of the things that comes up time and time again with my clients, especially in my one-to-many program, is I really want to do it. I really want to make passive income, but I can't figure out what I'm supposed to make passive income with. Like, what will be my big idea? And so I wanted to talk to you about that today, because once you've got that, you can really run with it. And you can do things quite quickly if you know who you want to help and what you want to help them with. So the first thing we need to think about is what that idea is. And lots of people want to make life easier. You know, they all say to me, I want to make passive income. And they all kind of want to start with courses, memberships, group programs, workshops, things that are the one-to-many model. That's the easiest way, I think, to start making passive and semi-passive income. There are other ways which we've talked about and which we'll talk about further on in the podcast. But this is generally the quickest way to go from one-to-one to one-to-many. So that bit's nice and kind of straightforward. But then it's like, well, what am I going to teach people in this one-to-many model? So for some people, that's going to be easy. You're going to love the one-to-one work you already do. And you're going to say, well, you know, I love doing what I do. I just want to impact more people. I just want to get out there and help more people with this thing that I already help people with on a one-to-one basis. So I will just do that idea. And that will be usually what your business already is. You already have a business, whether, let's say, you're a therapist, a coach, a personal trainer, whatever it is that you help people one-to-one with, you will go, well, I already have that audience. And so it makes sense to use that and do a course in it, or have a membership about it, or do a workshop on a particular aspect of what I normally teach that lots of people ask me about. So that's the easiest thing. The first thing to consider is your business, because if you already have the audience there, you're skipping half of the bit that most people find hard, which is growing an audience of people that want the thing that you're going to do for your big idea. So the ways to do that, if you're really not sure that you want to take whatever it is that you do one-to-one and teach it one-to-many, there are other things that you can think about. And the first one is to think about, if you do something that's a do it for you. So let's say you are a branding designer or a website designer or interior designer, something that you do for people. People come to you, they pay you money, and it takes your time because you are doing the thing that they're paying you for. Is there a way, first off, that you can teach people to do that thing for themselves? So let's take the branding designer because it's the easiest way to explain it. If you help people by designing their brand, can you teach people that can't afford you, because hopefully you've got really good pricing and you know your worth, people want to work with you, but they can't afford you. Can you make it affordable for them by putting it into a course format, a group program type format, where you teach them how to do what you normally do for them, for themselves? And you can do that over a number of modules, or, you know, however you want to do it. You can even do it in a workshop if that worked for whatever it is that you normally do for people. Because yes, they're not going to get the full experience. You know, people often say, usually therapists say to me, or people that help people in a kind of more of a therapeutic way, well, they're not going to get as good a service as my one-to-one if they do a course. Of course they're not, but they're also not paying you the amount of money that you charge them to do one-to-one, because you're going to make it cheaper for them so that it's affordable for them. But of course, they're not going to get the same service. They're going to get a lesser service because it's not your time. And so that's one thing. And it still could be a really good service. You know, I teach people how to do passive income in a group program that people have done with me on a one-to-one basis and in the group program. And some people have said they enjoyed the group program a lot more, and it's a hell of a lot cheaper than they enjoyed working with me one-to-one because of the camaraderie of all the other people in there and the brainstorming with all the other people. So it doesn't necessarily mean it won't be as good. It just won't have as much of you in it. So that's one way you could look at things. The next way is to think, can I teach somebody to be my competitor? So for instance, if you were a branding designer? Could you teach other people to become branding designers? And that might not be everything to do with becoming a branding designer. It might be just one aspect that you're good at. Could be that you teach people how to use social media to get clients as a branding designer. Could be that you teach people how to set up their business as a branding designer. Could be that you teach people how to use one particular piece of software. Maybe it's a project management software to use with their clients if they're a branding designer. It could be that you teach them how to sell really well and get clients as a branding designer. Do you see what I mean? So there's lots of ways you can teach your competition because you've already done it. You've already been there. They know you've got clients. And so you can teach people who aren't exactly where you are yet to do some of the things that you have already learned how to do. People get scared of this one because, but if I teach people how to do this, then I'm making my own competition and people might go to them rather than me. It's not really how it works. Yes, they might, but you are unique in who you are. That person's never going to be you. So the way you explain things, the way you do things, the way you work with people, it doesn't matter how many times you teach them on it, they will never be you. They will never be able to do it how you do it. But also there is a hierarchy where if you are teaching other people to be your competition, you are seen as the best. You are seen as worth more to, in payment terms. If you're teaching other people how to do something, it's like, let's have a hairdresser analogy to make things easier. If you go into a hairdresser's and there's all the stylists, the junior stylists and the stylists, and then there's the creative director who teaches all the stylists how to cut hair. Some people are only going to want that creative director. That's you. You're the person teaching the other people. So you never need to worry about that you're making your own competition. I'll tell you how I know this to be true. Because there are many, many people that copy what I do. They come into my program. They come in as maybe a personal trainer or a mindset coach. And then they see what I've done. And they go, well, I'm just going to do what she does and teach people how to do passive income because I've just learned everything she's taught me. And so I'm going to go off and do it. And so they try. It doesn't work because they're not you. So it doesn't matter. You can teach them the thing, but you can't teach them how to do it exactly how you do it. So it will never work. So don't worry about teaching people your competition. It's a really good way to kind of climb a bit of a ladder. So that's the next thing I would think of to do. If none of those work and you're like, well, I have my business or I don't have a business and I don't want to do it about whatever I do my business in. I had a client that came to me that had a great female empowerment membership and worked one-to-one with people. And she came to me and said, I want to do more passive income streams, but I don't want to do it in the female empowerment space. And so then what we did was we went to number 2, which was, okay, what else have you done in your life in previous jobs that you might be able to help people with now? Especially like if you're listening to this like in 2021, 2022, I suspect it will go up that far. There's an entrepreneurial gold rush at the moment where more entrepreneurs are starting up than ever before. This is because of the pandemic that we had. People don't want to go back to work. They've been furloughed. They're used to not working in an office now. They've been made redundant. They have reevaluated their entire lives because of what happened. And they've realized they actually want to start their own business. When people start their own business, the first thing they do is they look up to somebody that has either already been there and is doing what they want to do. Remember that number 1, creating your own competition. Or they look around for people that have skills that they'll need as an entrepreneur. So when this woman came to me, she's called Nicola and she's amazing. I said, well, what have you done in your jobs before? One of the things that she had done is worked for 15 years as a journalist. So to me, it was really obvious that the thing that she should be helping entrepreneurs with is getting in the press. She knows it from the other side, not even from the side of being a PR, but from a journalist side. So she knows what people are looking for. So she then set up a course and a membership to help people with entrepreneurs with getting in the press. And she does amazingly with that. She's making a hell of a lot of money from it and she's really good at it. So is there something that you've done in any jobs that you've had in the past that you could now help others with? Things like, even if you've worked in a call center, you know a customer experience better than another person. Can you help people with their customer experience? I know another lovely entrepreneur that was amazing with retention. And she worked in really high blue chip companies on retaining clients. So she knew exactly how to retain members of a membership, because it's exactly the same. Retaining clients is the same no matter where you are, no matter what kind of company. And so she turned that into her expertise being, I'm going to make passive income by putting courses and memberships out there on how to retain clients in memberships. And she does very well with that. There's so many different things that you can do if you look at past jobs that you have. Then, if there's still nothing there, you can go on to number 3. Number 3 is where you think, okay, do I have a passion in something or a hobby in something that I could make a passive income stream out of? This is where my clients have done things like Caribbean cooking memberships, dating memberships, sex memberships, how to be good at sex, memberships on how to help your children use a camera, start photography, things like how to bring up confident kids, things like how to become more assertive in life in general, how to get into property, how to start a B&B. I could go on. There are hundreds of different things you could do, how to play guitar, piano, any of those things. And this can work really, really well. One of my clients, Lauren, has a membership for people who like the theatre. So she doesn't have to know everything about the theatre. She likes the theatre, but she can curate people to be interviewed and to hold space for a community where all the other people that like the theatre can talk about the things they like, can talk about what they've seen, all of those kind of things. And then she started to get discounted tickets for people so she could make more money that way. Now, she made, I think she's nearly at the £1 million mark in the past couple of years, £1 million on that membership. So it doesn't have to be always on businessy type things. The first thing that I ever bought, the first piece of passive income I ever bought was an ebook. And the ebook was about how to get around Disneyland with 2 under 2s. And I always remember it because it was the thing that sparked my interest. I bought this ebook and I was like, I can't be bothered to be like on the internet for hours and hours trying to work out how to get around Disneyland and what are the best parks and, which rides are good for the age group of my twins. And then I saw this book, which was the exact solution to the problem. And it was about $47. And I bought it and it was great. It had everything in it that I needed. I then rang the woman who made it and said, hey, can I have a chat with you about this ebook? How many do you sell? She said she'd written it 2 years earlier. It had taken her half a day and she updates it with new information each year. And that she was making, I can't remember the exact figure, but it was in the thousands every single month from people buying it. She was putting it into like Disney groups, Facebook groups and that kind of thing. And it was working amazingly for her. And it really made me realize that even if you just have a little bit of knowledge that somebody else doesn't have, you can make passive and semi-passive income out of it. It doesn't matter what that knowledge is. If there's someone else that wants to know it and will either want it because they don't know where else to get it, or they want it because they trust how you're teaching it, or they want it because it saves them time finding it for free on the internet, you will make money from it. And that's an amazing thing, because there are so many things when you actually start to brainstorm and get a sheet of paper and write down everything you've ever known and all of your hobbies and the things you like. I have one person who is making money now, an ex-client, from hula hooping. She knows how to hula hoop, so she now teaches other people how to do it in her courses. You can literally make money from anything. If anyone has ever asked you, can I pick your brain about something? That should now trigger a response in you that goes, oh, can I sell this information then? Can I make passive income from this in a course or a workshop? So have a think about your passions rather than just your work things. And then there'll always be 2 things that come up that stop people making money when they work out what their thing is. The first one is always, but I'm not an expert. And that's because we're online all the time now. And we see these experts, people we think of as experts online. They've only become experts because they've told themselves they are, and they've put it out there that they are. Same as me. I'm only a passive income expert because I've learned some stuff about passive income. And so now I'm going out there telling people I know some stuff about passive income. And so people say, oh, you're the expert in passive income. An expert isn't what we think it is. It's changed. An expert doesn't have to be the biggest guru on the internet, the one that's shouting the loudest. An expert is the person that knows the most about a particular subject in an average room. There will be something that you know the most about in an average room. And so stop not thinking of yourself as the expert. You have to make yourself the expert. You have to declare yourself the expert. No one's going to do that for you. So any expert that you see out there already will want in your position knowing a little bit more than some other people. And so they started to learn even more and to teach other people. And the more you teach other people, the more you learn. So, don't put yourself in the way by saying you're not the expert. The second thing that people say is, well, I can't do it because somebody else is doing it. I can't tell you how many times a day I hear that sentence. Somebody's already doing that though. Does it matter if somebody else is already doing it? When we have offline businesses, we never say to ourselves, well, somebody's already doing it. Going back to the hairdresser analogy, I really want to become a hairdresser, but somebody's already a hairdresser. No one has ever said that, ever, because it doesn't matter. Because people will go to you because they like the way you are a hairdresser. They trust the way you do their hair. You're not going to worry that there's a million other hairdressers in the town. And it's the same with online businesses. It's just we see it differently. So, there are plenty of Indian restaurants in your town. No one goes, well, I can't set up an Indian restaurant because there already is one. You will do things differently. And it's the same online. You will explain things differently. Your personality is different. People will resonate with you that don't resonate with some of the other people that are already teaching the thing you teach. So for me, it is so much better if there actually is already someone doing it, because it means they've done their market research for you and there is a client base. It means that this is something that people are willing to buy. If there's no one doing what you want to do, I would be more worried about that. I would sit and consider why that might be the case, because there's no new ideas out there. So someone, of course, will already be doing it. There's lots of people who are teaching passive income before me. I didn't invent it. So don't let these things put you off. Always remember that your knowledge is not common knowledge. We think it is. We think, well, why would anyone want to know that? It's obvious. It's obvious to you. It's not obvious to anyone else. I had a personal trainer and health coach say to me, yeah, but everyone knows how to lose weight and how to do these kind of exercises. I was like, I don't know how to do any of those things. You're just assuming they do because you're in an echo chamber with a load of other people that know it. But actually, there's lots of people that don't know what you know. When I have a client that really knows their stuff and I can see they're an expert, it kills me when they come to me and say, oh, but I don't think I'm the expert. And, there's people already doing it, because usually I know someone else out there that isn't as good as this client making a ton of money from doing it, because they're not getting in their own way. It's always us that get in our own way when it comes to thinking of the passive income idea. So the way to start this is to get a sheet of paper, brainstorm everything you know, and work out what's in your head that you can sell. I will leave you to get on with that, and I will speak to you again very soon. Have a great day, whatever it is that you're doing. Thank you for listening to Making Money Online with Lisa Johnson. If you'd like to get hold of my guide to launching, go to lisajohnson.com/launch and let's get you making money online.